On November the 7th, President Muhammadu Buhari and his entourage walked into the hallowed path chamber of the House of Representatives to present an 8.612 trillion naira 2018 budget before a joint sitting of the National Assembly. With recurrent expenditure of 3.494 trillion naira, capital spending of 2.428 trillion naira, and debt service of 2.014 trillion naira, the financial plan is labeled Budget of Consolidation on the successes and achievements of the 2016 and 2017 budgets.
Excellency, it gives us great delight to see you here in person.
This is the earliest time in this administration that the President is bringing the national budgets to the Parliament as he resolves to return to a one-year budget cycle.
We aim to consolidate on our achievement in 2017. We shall meet our counterpart funding obligations. We shall complete all ongoing projects, and we shall carry forward all strategic projects that were budgeted for, but which were unable to kick-start due to liquidity challenges.
According to the President, there's a huge revenue shortfall from government agencies, a defect resulting in the revenue target falling below expectation.
A key revenue shortfall was from independent revenues. Only 155.14 billion naira was remitted by September 2017, as against the projected pro-rate sum of 605.87 billion naira. This represents a 74% shortfall, which is very disappointing.
The 2018 budget proposal is based on an oil price benchmark of $45 per barrel, an exchange rate of 305 naira to a dollar, and GDP growth of 3.5%. Key capital spending allocations in the 2018 budget include power, works and housing, 555.88 billion naira, transportation, 263.10 billion naira, special intervention programs, 150 billion naira, defense, 145 billion naira, agriculture and rural development, 118.98 billion naira, education, 61.73 billion naira, Universal Basic Education Commission, 109.06 billion naira, health, 71.11 billion naira. 7 days after President Buhari's 2018 budget presentation to the National Assembly, the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, led by Senator Udoma Udo Udoma, organizes a public presentation of the overview of the 2018 appropriation bill to further explain the facts and figures behind the proposed budget. Present at the forum are the Minister of Information, Mr. Lai Mohammed, Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosu, Minister of Education, Mr. Adamu Adamu, Minister of State for Petroleum, Mr. Ebe Kachiku, Head of Service of the Federation, Director Generals, Ambassadors, CEOs, and others. The Minister of Budget and National Planning reveals that recurrent releases to federal ministries, departments, and agencies under the 2017 budget had reached 4.24 trillion naira.
The 2017 budget was presented to the National Assembly in December, but was signed into law on the 12th of June. Because by constitutional convention, we are allowed to run for up to 6 months at the rate of the previous budget, and this is what we did. So we ran the recurrent budget from January 2017. However, since we did not really have a feel for what the capital budget with this thing, we had to wait until after the budget was passed into law. And therefore, the capital budget, 2017 capital budget, has effectively run for just a little over 4 months.
The Director General Budget Office, Mr. Ben Akabweze, highlights some of the gray areas in the 2017 budget.
But I'd like to use this opportunity to provide updates on the open budget commitment of the open government partnership reforms, which we are currently implementing. And this is a matter that is close to the heart of Mr. President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, who last year signed onto the Open Government Partnership. In the current National Action Plan 2017 to 2019 of the Open Government Partnership, it is interesting to note that the open budget commitment is the very first commitment that we have made as a nation. And the Ministry of Budget and National Planning is leading in delivering on that commitment. The Open Government Partnership Reform is a multi-stakeholder initiative focused on improving transparency, accountability, citizen participation, and responsiveness to citizens through technology and innovation. We have been committed to this and have made significant progress in this regard. The open budget commitment, which, as I said earlier, was the very first commitment, has seen us in the course of the last year at various times and fora bring together government and civil society champions of reforms who recognize that governments are more likely to be more effective and credible when governance is subjected to public input and oversight. And this is exemplified in the two public consultative fora which we held in Lagos and Abuja for the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper 2018 to 2020.
The DG Budget Office also touches on the new policy being introduced by the present administration in the areas of transparency and accountability.
We also held a budget transparency and accountability workshop, as well as the national budget hearing, public hearings which the National Assembly held in preparing the 2017 budget. At the national level, the Open Government Partnership, and in particular the Open Budget Commitment, introduces a domestic policy mechanism through which the government and civil society can have an ongoing dialogue. And to do this effectively, in a country of over 180 million citizens, we have adopted simple technology-based feedback mechanisms for, especially with respect to monitoring of project implementation at community levels. And this seeks to galvanize citizens and civil society organizations in this process, deploying the iMonitor functionality in our website. We have a citizens portal on the Budget Office website, www.budgetoffice.gov.ng, which I would like to commend to everyone.